Editor-in-Chief of the Daily Beast and Newsweek, which has a story this week on Kate Middleton's first year with the royal family. She is also author of the Diana Chronicles, which is about Princess Diana. Welcome. Good to have you here.
Very good to be here.
So what's your takeaway on this story of Pippa?
Well, you know, Pippa, the Middletons so far have been the most unembarrassing family that you could possibly imagine. I mean, indeed, compared to the Queen's own family, when you consider what went on with Fergie and Diana and Harry and the whole thing that she's been through, finally the Middletons arrived. They are flawless. Kate is flawless. And now Pippa is suddenly causing a little bit of embarrassment, is the truth. But, you know, what they have to recognise is she is part of the royal family. They cannot do this thing, which they tend to do in their ostrichy way of saying, you know, she's not really part of our family. She's just a distant relation. She's not. She's in it. She's there. And she's going to be having to be given protection, tutelage, you know, PR spin. They're going to have to take her in and really make her one of them.
But Kate and her prince, they're doing just fine, as you would point out.
Oh, they're incredible. I mean, the amazing thing about Kate is, I think, aside from once when she, you know, did a little bit of a pratfall in roller skates and a short skirt, like 6 years ago, this girl has been unbelievable. She should be running for, you know, the GOP nomination, because she has no history. She is a girl with absolutely no history.
She's flawless.
Flawless.
What do you think the conversation is, though, this morning at the palace? Because as you say, your take is they really need to take on Pippa in some way and recognize the fact that whether they like it or not, she's part of it. Are they having that conversation, though, this morning? What will realistically change?
Well, I think Pippa went from being a person to a problem. She's now the Pippa problem. And there will be many conferences now because the Jubilee is coming up. And the big fear is that this flawless Jubilee that was about to happen is suddenly going to become, you know, a referendum on Pippa's derriere, Pippa's behaviour in Paris, Pippa's wild life. It is unattractive that Pippa's friends are quite so rich and silly. You know, that is one issue that that they're having to deal with. And I think their great desire is to marry her off to the Duke of Northumberland's son, George Percy, who she has been dating, and say, get into the Shires and shut the hell up.
So is this a time in which the royal family is doing well and everybody's happy about them for the most part?
Well, the royal brand has been incredibly refurbished by Kate, and in a sense by Pippa.
Yeah, exactly.
And in a sense,
she's brought in a fair amount of interest.
But it's always great to have that crazy sibling. Don't forget, the Queen had Princess Margaret, who was a one long, you know, gossip fest all her life. Beautiful, rakish, you know, having divorces and boyfriends and stuff. There's always a sibling. Harry has been, you know, the naughty one compared to William. So in some ways, it's kind of a fun distraction to have Pippa off there while Kate's flawless. But as long as she doesn't do dumb things like she did in Paris.
Is the conventional wisdom that the Queen will die as Queen, that she would never give it up for her son?
She'll never give it up, no, because the Queen believes, you know, when she has said, you know, all the days of my life in Westminster Abbey when she was crowned, the Queen believes a vow is a vow. And, you know, she's the monarch. The monarch doesn't retire. The monarch dies on the job.
And that is part of the coronation. I mean, part of that whole ceremony is you're essentially making this vow, in fact, to God and to the church.
You are. And that's the thing we will celebrate at the Jubilee, when, you know, her Diamond Jubilee is in June. Yeah. And she will be celebrating the honouring of that vow.
One quick point. Politico and Huffington Post, you were on the Daily Beast, online won 2 Pulitzer Prizes, which says something about online arriving in terms of everybody's judgment.
I think it's terrific. I really do. I mean, I think it's a great acknowledgement that now so much terrific work is done online. And, you know, the levels of reporting now, I mean, at the Daily Beast, we have exactly the same kind of standards that, frankly, that I used to use at the New Yorker for judging a piece. And I think that that's a good acknowledgement of the fact that there is this coming of age now.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Great to see you. Come back soon.
Thank you.